Ever need to send a large chunk of money fast, but the banking jargon just makes your head spin? Well, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're taking the stress out of Bank of America wire transfers.
Bank of America's wire system is literally one of the absolute best ways to move your money, safely and quickly, whether it's across the street or across the world. But yeah, it can feel a little intimidating the first time you do it. Stick with me though, because by the end of this, you're going to have the complete practical knowledge to send a wire with total confidence. Even if you are a total beginner, you'll be doing this like a pro.
Okay, so here's our game plan for today. We'll start with a quick intro and transfer preparation, then jump into a step-by-step transfer guide. After that, we'll look at domestic versus international transfers, cover some common mistakes and fixes, go over wire transfer security tips, and wrap it all up with a conclusion and important disclaimer. All right, section 1. Let's get right into the intro and your transfer preparation. So, what actually is a wire transfer? Simply put, it's an electronic payment that moves funds directly and securely from your bank account to someone else's. Now, you might be wondering, why not just use an app like Zelle? Well, wires are built for the heavy lifting. Think large, time-sensitive, high-stakes transactions. We're talking real estate closings, paying a major business vendor, or sending vital money overseas. When maximum security is the goal, you use a wire.
Now, to save yourself a massive headache later, you need to get your ducks in a row before you even log in. Trust me, having this exact checklist ready is a real game changer. You're going to need the recipient's full legal name and address, their bank's name and physical address, the exact routing number or SWIFT code, and their complete account number. Oh, and you'll also need to know the specific regulatory purpose of the transfer, plus the exact currency you want the funds delivered in. Write all of this down first, and the rest is easy.
Which brings us to section 2, our step-by-step transfer guide. Bank of America actually makes kicking this off incredibly easy, right from your phone. Once you authenticate and log into the mobile app, just tap that Pay and Transfer menu at the bottom and look for the icon clearly marked Wire. Just give that a tap. Okay, the sequence is absolutely everything here. First, navigate to wire/ACH, and then pay close attention to this part. You have to select Add Account/Recipient. Bank of America is going to hit you with an identity check right here before they let you save anyone new. You might get a text code or use a security key. Once you clear that, just plug in all those details you gathered earlier, pick your delivery speed, and type in the exact amount. Finally, carefully review the summary screen. Pro tip here, manually expand those summary fields to double-check everything before you hit send.
Moving on to section 3. Let's break down domestic versus international transfers, because there are some pretty big differences. Let's talk about the standard fees. If you're sending a wire domestically, expect a flat $30 fee. Sending US dollars internationally, that jumps to $45. And if you're on the receiving end, Bank of America generally takes a $15 cut. But wait, take a look at that asterisk next to the $0 outbound foreign currency fee. Yeah, $0 doesn't exactly mean it's free. Basically, Bank of America waives that $45 transaction fee if you choose to convert your US dollars into the recipient's local currency before sending. But, and it's a big but, they bake a retail markup right into that exchange rate. So the bank is still making a profit on the conversion margin. Depending on how much you're sending, this free option could actually cost you way more than a flat fee. Definitely do the math on that. Another huge difference is how banks actually find each other. Domestic wires just use a standard 9-digit routing number, but international wires, they rely heavily on something called a SWIFT or BIC code. Think of a SWIFT code as a unique global passport for a bank. It's usually 8 to 11 characters, and you absolutely must have it to make sure your money lands at the right financial institution overseas. Timing is also super critical. For domestic transfers, they typically arrive on the exact same business day, but you have to hit Bank of America's strict 5 p.m. Eastern Time cutoff. If you miss that 5 p.m. mark, or if it's a weekend or a holiday, your money isn't moving until the next available business day. International transfers are a whole different beast. They generally take anywhere from 1 to 5 business days to finally arrive. All right, section 4. Let's look at some common mistakes, and more importantly, how to avoid them. One of the absolute biggest reasons a wire gets rejected or delayed is bad formatting. You absolutely have to include every single leading zero in the account number exactly as it appears on the bank statement. Think of it like this. Leaving off those zeros is like forgetting the zip code on an envelope. The automated system on the other end is just going to say, nope, and bounce the money right back to you. Now, what if someone is wiring money to you from outside the US? This is where it gets tricky. Giving them the wrong SWIFT code or corporate address can cause massive headaches.
If they're sending you US dollars, they have to use the SWIFT code ending in 3N and the New York Broadway address. But if they're sending a foreign currency that Bank of America has to convert, they need the SWIFT code ending in 6S and the San Francisco, California street address. Mix those up, and you're going to be waiting a while for your funds.
On to Section 5. Let's talk about keeping your money safe with some crucial wire transfer security tips.
When you're using the mobile app, Bank of America is actually going to flash a full-screen warning at you, basically saying never to wire money to strangers or for unverified urgent requests. Take it seriously. Scammers absolutely love wire transfers for one simple reason. Once the money clears, it is nearly impossible to get it back. So never send funds to someone you haven't met. And if you get a frantic email from a business or title company asking for a wire, pick up the phone and call a trusted number to verify it first. To their credit, Bank of America has a pretty intense, multi-layered security setup. They don't just trust your password. Just to add a recipient, you have to pass a multi-factor authentication challenge. For really big transfers, you might trigger something called SafePass, which is a 6-digit text code. They even support physical FIDO2 USB security keys and use Face or Fingerprint ID right on the app. The whole point is making absolutely sure that only you can authorize these massive movements of cash. And finally, Section 6. Let's bring it all home with our conclusion and a super quick disclaimer. So you now have the ultimate blueprint to efficiently manage your transfers. Just to recap, gather all your exact banking details before you do anything. Use the app or online banking for the smoothest experience. Watch the clock for that 5 p.m. Eastern cutoff. Do the math on currency conversions. And whatever you do, double-check those leading zeros. If you stick to this, you're going to skip the stress and avoid those crazy fees. Now, as a standard heads up, the banking world is always changing. Fees, limits, and routing rules can shift at any time. This explainer is strictly for informational purposes. It's not financial advice. So please always double-check the current terms, fees, and cutoff times directly with Bank of America before you send any of your hard-earned money. So, now that you're basically a wire transfer expert, who's getting your first successful transfer? And more importantly, how much time is this new skill going to save you? I'd actually encourage you to log in and practice setting up a recipient using these tips. Just, don't hit send unless you actually mean it. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or just to let me know how it went. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and happy transferring.